In this video, I'll show you how to create this animation effect in After Effects. The emojis and sound effects have already been imported into the project. Let's create a composition. Create a white background and draw the button that we'll be animating. This is just a regular shape. Align it to the center. Give it a bit of rounding. Add the text. Align the text to the center. Add the drop shadow effect. The shadow is created using two drop shadow effects, one for the closer action and another for the farther action. Adjust the settings and tweak the color a bit. Great. Now let's move on to creating the loading bar. The loading bar is made from a simple line. Align it to the grid. Also round it off a bit. Now create a background effect. Spread the layers out a bit so it's easier to work with, and add the text that will indicate the end of the loading process. Excellent. Attach the word to the button and start animating. Create a slight bounce effect. In the middle, the button will sink in a little. Also, pull the second keyframe of the graph all the way towards yourself. Fade out the button so that we can move on to the next segment after loading. We need to achieve a word disappearance effect, so we need to make the word download turn into a bar by squashing it with scale. And achieve the effect of similarity to a bar. Animate the bar using the trim path. Now we need to add and attach the bar to the button so it doesn't go beyond the boundaries. Select it, attach it to the button, perfect. We also need to make the button match the size of the progress bar. To do this, open the size parameter and animate it. This way, we get a cool effect. Here, we need to carefully remove the line so that it smoothly transitions into OK. Fade out the lines and reveal the word OK. Let OK appear in the center while the line hides in the middle. Perfect, remove the transparency. Now we need to enlarge the button so that it's the same size as the word OK. Also animate the size parameter. Adjust the frame to match the size of OK in both width and height. There. A little more. Yes, perfect. Let's add a bit of smoothness. We can see that the line doesn't quite hide. There. A bit of graphics. keys, you'll have to work with keys quite a lot. Oh, yes. Here I decided to tweak the press a bit since I didn't really like it at first. A little time with the keys and we get a great result. Also at the end, alright, let's move on to styling. Let's add a bevel to the bar so we get a soft edge. Perfect. Let's also add a bevel to the text. Okay, I think this is going to look really good. Perfect. So, the next step is to create a green flickering effect for the word OK. We add a new shape, make a copy of this same button, and then simply change its color. This process will help us achieve the desired flickering visual effect for the word OK. And we play around with the opacity. At this point, the opacity needs to be removed, then brought up to 100%, and then removed again. We also begin simply with a click on the button. Let's make it purple while it's being pressed. Also, at first, we remove the opacity, add and then remove the graphics again, and adjust everything to our liking. That's how I do it, personally. Let's add the cursor. The cursor is just a regular PNG image. We add a ramp effect to it to give it a gradient look. Set up the gradient to your taste. Perfect. Now let's move on to animating the cursor. Set the first keyframe off screen for the position. The second keyframe goes on the button. Let's tweak the graph a bit. Here is the exit position after the click. Perfect. Adjust the smoothness to your liking. Great, now we get this kind of click effect. Awesome. Let's add a skill so that the cursor shrinks when clicked. Excellent. The circle effect looks pretty good on the created shape layer. Let's choose these settings, add a small amount of radius, and we'll animate the radius parameter. We'll also hide this explosion using opacity. Here we have the reveal. Let's tweak the graphs a bit. Now we need to carefully adjust the desired thickness and blur. The Physor effect is actually the main factor responsible for causing the blur in this situation. And yes, it is also the reason for the danger as well, absolutely. Let's adjust the graph. It's turning out pretty well. There's also a blur effect. Let's add a blur effect for this kind of explosion. Great. Let's make a copy to create a different color. Move the keyframes back a bit, choose yellow, select the thickness. Great, we get a cool effect. The next step will be adding motion blur for smooth fluid animation. Great. Let's move on to the emoji. Add the emoji. Animate one, then we'll make a copy for all four. Align it to the center and make it appear from the center. Animate the position parameter. Great. Let's add a bit to the revision line, to the graph. It's turning out pretty well. Let's also add an opacity parameter and make it fade out. Add a bit of scaling as well. Make duplicate copies, add the other 4 and change their positions. Spread them out in different directions. Great. Now let's add a shimmering button effect. Great. Please go ahead and animate it, and also make sure to carefully adjust the thickness as needed. It should appear at the beginning. It should run through, and then the button needs to be pressed. Great. Create another composition and bring our composition into it. And here, animate the scale so the camera zooms in a bit until the button is pressed. Smooth it out, simply get the effect you want, and also move the camera back. Great. And that's it, it's done. Now you've got a great effect. Thank you for your attention. See you next time.